Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into something, well, pretty crucial. I think it's all about financial empowerment for women.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
mean, think about it, whether you're gearing up for a big life change or maybe you're dreaming of starting a business.
Or even just wanting to feel like you've got a real solid grip on your finances.
Exactly. And that's what we're all about today, right? Giving you the info, the tools, the confidence to take charge.
Totally. And we got a ton of great source material here covering a really wide range of
Oh
topics.
yeah, for sure. Everything from the nitty-gritty of financial planning to, well, that ever-present gender pay gap we got to talk about.
Yeah, and let's not forget investing, making that money work for you. And of course, retirement planning, got to start thinking about that early.
Right, no matter what age you are.
Right.
Oh, and this one source, it really dives deep into entrepreneurship, especially for women,
So important. There's a whole world of opportunity out there.
for sure. And you know what's really cool? Oh, one of the sources, it actually brought up this stat that women-owned businesses are growing at like twice the rate of all businesses in general.
Wow, that's amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Super inspiring. But, okay, let's jump into the first big topic here. It's all about financial planning and how important it is to kind of, adjust your plan as you go through those major life events.
Yeah, for sure. Things like getting married or divorced, having a baby, it can really throw your finances for a loop.
Or even if you switch careers or suddenly find yourself taking care of a family member,
Yeah.
those are all big shifts.
Absolutely. And they can impact not just your daily life, but also how much money you're bringing in, your expenses, all of it.
Right. And it can even affect those long-term financial goals you've got your sights set on.
Oh, totally. You need a plan that can flex and adapt right along with you.
I like that, a flexible plan.
Yeah.
So speaking of challenges, and let's be real, there are a few, we got to talk about the gender pay gap.
Yeah, it's unfortunately still very real.
So this source, it points out that women, on average, they earn less than men for doing the same jobs, right?
Yeah. Some of the sources mention different figures, but it's definitely a significant gap.
Exactly. And you know what really hit me? It's not just about that immediate difference in your paycheck,
It's about how that gap, it just keeps widening over time.
affecting like your savings, how much you can invest, and ultimately how much you'll have when you retire.
Exactly. It has this ripple effect throughout your financial life.
Makes you realize how important it is to, well, know your worth and to really advocate for yourself, right?
Absolutely. Speak up, negotiate. Don't be afraid to ask for what you deserve.
Yeah, and one of the sources, it had this great tip: research salary benchmarks in your field before you even start negotiating.
Such a good point. Websites like Glassdoor or salary.com, those can be really helpful.
Oh, totally. Arm yourself with information, know what others are making, then you can go in with confidence.
For sure. And another source highlighted organizations like the American Association of University Women.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
They offer these fantastic negotiation workshops specifically for women. And honestly, practicing those skills can make a world of difference.
I bet. Okay, let's shift gears a bit now and talk about something that can feel a bit intimidating: investing.
Yeah, I know. It can seem really complicated at first.
But one of these sources, it did a great job of breaking down some of those key concepts, like asset allocation, diversification, long-term growth.
And one source brought up this interesting concept called the gender investment gap.
Oh yeah, what was that about again?
Well, studies show that women tend to invest less than men, and often they start later in life, which can be a missed opportunity.
Makes sense, especially when you consider that whole pay gap thing we were just talking about.
Right, it all connects. But what I thought was really cool, this source also talked about the rise of women-led investment clubs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's all about creating these supportive spaces where women can learn about investing together, share their experiences, and just build that confidence.
I love that idea. It's about community, right?
Uh,
And not feeling like you have to go it alone.
Totally. Okay, let's move on to something that everyone needs to think about no matter what stage of life you're in retirement planning.
It's never too early, right?
Exactly. And this source, it really emphasized the importance of understanding those different retirement accounts,
Yeah.
401k, IRAs, all that good stuff.
Sometimes it feels like alphabet soup.
I know. But what's interesting? One source debunked this myth that you need a ton of money to start investing for retirement.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Yeah, they highlighted the power of starting small and consistently contributing, especially when you consider this amazing thing called compound interest.
So like interest earning interest. I vaguely remember that from like high school math class.
Yeah, exactly. And over time, it can make a huge difference in your retirement nest egg.
So even if you can only put aside a little bit each month, it's still worth it.
Absolutely. Consistency is key.
Okay, let's switch gears again. One of the sources here really got me fired up. It's all about entrepreneurship, specifically for women.
Oh, yeah. So many resources and insights in there.
It really dives into everything: funding options, smart financial management strategies, even approaches to growth that are specifically tailored to women-owned businesses.
I know. What I found particularly interesting was the focus on alternative funding sources for women entrepreneurs.
Like what?
Things like crowdfunding platforms, or grants that are specifically designed to support women-owned businesses.
Wow, so many options out there. Makes you realize how important it is to just do your research and, well, be open to exploring those different avenues.
Absolutely. And speaking of research, one theme that kept popping up in a lot of these sources was the importance of financial literacy.
I was just about to say that.
It's really the foundation for everything, right? Even taking a basic personal finance course, it can be so empowering.
Oh, I totally agree. I actually took one a few years ago, and honestly, it was life-changing.
Really? What was so impactful about it for you?
Well, it really helped me create a budget that I could actually stick to, Before that, it was all kind of just like guesswork.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
For sure. But learning about things like tracking expenses, setting financial goals, it just gave me this sense of control over my money that I never had before.
It's like you've got the tools now, right? You know how to manage things.
Exactly. And, another source, it really highlighted how financial education, it can help you avoid those common financial pitfalls.
Like what kind?
Oh, things like falling into debt traps, or making those impulsive purchases that you regret later.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
Right. But when you have that knowledge, you can make more informed decisions.
Okay, speaking of being in control of your finances, one source really dives into building financial independence.
And it all starts with those basics: budgeting, tracking your expenses, and setting up that emergency fund, right?
Yep, those are the building blocks.
But I gotta admit, it can be tough to stay disciplined sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it. It's a constant process.
Right. But one source had this really cool suggestion. Find a budgeting method that actually works for you.
Makes sense. One size doesn't fit all, right?
Exactly. Some people love that 50-30-20 rule.
Yeah, that one's pretty popular.
While others might prefer envelope budgeting or using those like budgeting apps on their phone.
It's about finding what clicks with your lifestyle and how you think about money.
Love that. Okay, let's move on to something that can feel, well, kind of like adulting 101, insurance and risk management.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It can feel overwhelming, right? There's so many types: life insurance, health insurance, disability, long-term care.
And honestly, it can be hard to know where to even start.
Right. But this one source, it actually had this really practical tip. It emphasized the importance of reviewing your insurance policies regularly.
Oh, good point. Especially when those big life changes happen, right?
Exactly. Because what you need in your 20s might be totally different from what you need in your 40s or 50s.
Makes sense. You got to adapt as you go.
Okay, on to something that I admit I've been putting off thinking about: estate planning.
Oh, yeah, that one can feel a little, well, heavy.
But this source did a good job of laying out those basics, wills, trusts, all that legal stuff to make sure your wishes are carried out.
And honestly, it's not just about protecting your assets, right?
It's about making sure your loved ones are taken care of according to your wishes.
Exactly. And having that peace of mind knowing that everything's in order.
Okay, last but definitely not least, one of the sources really highlighted the importance of something I think is so powerful: women-centered financial communities.
Yes. Connecting with other women, sharing those experiences, it can be so empowering.
I totally agree. It's about having that supportive network, where you feel comfortable asking questions, getting advice, even celebrating those financial wins together.
For sure. It's about lifting each other up and realizing that you're not alone on this journey.
So there you have it, our deep dive into financial empowerment for women.
We covered a lot.
Hopefully you've picked up some valuable insights along the way.
Definitely some food for thought.
And the biggest takeaway, I think it's that financial knowledge. It really is power.
It's true.
You have the ability to shape your own financial destiny, no matter what your starting point is.
Absolutely. And don't forget, while this deep dive has given you a great foundation, seeking personalized advice from a qualified financial advisor is always a smart move.
So true. Okay, here's something to ponder as you go about your day. What one step, even a small one, can you take today to move closer to those financial goals you've got?
Love that. Even baby steps add up.
Right. Until next time, Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for that financial empowerment.
You got this.
See you next time.
Bye.